Hey everyone, VX here, and welcome to another Princess Connect video. So if you've been around on the Princess Connect Discord, you've probably seen the collaboration timelines that were publicly released. And if you're maybe more of a casual player or semi-competitive and you're reading these timelines, you might not know what some of these timings mean. Spiral Wave, Phantom Hit, or if you do know what these are referring to, you might not be hitting these timings correctly, which means that in the end you do lose damage, or the safety of your timeline goes down, meaning that your ILLYA might be dying when she's not supposed to, or it might be a preventable death. And in this video series, I'm going to be trying to go over animation cancels for every important clan battle unit. This video specifically, I'll go over the mages. A little bit about myself before beginning. I'm an experienced Princess Connect player. I've been playing since release, timelining, researching, clashing. Right now I'm in the rank 1 clan vanilla. Did over 100 clashes last clan battle. And I think that if you're looking to step your game up to the kind of an esports level, or you just want to become better, learning animation cancels is a great way to start. You can maximize your damage for clan battle, and it's even usable in PvE content. Obviously not in PvP, because that's auto. Yeah, we can just begin. I'll start by showing Akari. I'll be starting with the easier characters and then going into more difficult animation cancels. Akari, her first action is her skill 2, that's the Impish Kiss. It applies shred and shred only. It's a projectile. She blows a kiss towards the boss, and the moment that kiss lands, the shred has applied. I'm going to UB with Akari, and I'll show you what that looks like here. Blowing a kiss, it lands. You see this blue icon signaling, showing that the boss is debuffed, and that's the cancel. One reason you would want to do an Akari cancel, or any cancel for that matter, is that it kind of cancels her end lag, the unnecessary frames of the animation. So if I don't cancel her kiss right here, it's applied, you just see her standing still, not really doing anything until she casts her next action. By you being Akari, the instant that effect of the skill has applied, I'm speeding up her animations so that she starts her next skill faster. So one more time, I'll show Akari. This is the kiss. This is a very important skill to know, because not only are you gonna use it on Akari, you're usually using it to time other mages. Meaning, once I see Akari's kiss land, I'm going to UB with like Summer Kyaru, for example, in some comps. Next I'll show Akari skill 1, that's Shadow Bolt. This is also a projectile. It just deals damage for now until we get her unique equipment. It throws a little black ball. That was too early there, but the idea is that once I see that black ball hit the boss, that's when I want to UB, because that's when the damage comes out. So I'll try to hit it this time. So she's going to start casting Shadow Bolt now. I see the bolt hit the boss and I UB. You'll see the damage right there, 13k. Fairly straightforward. I don't have a lot to say there. Shadow Bolt is not a very common cancel to do in most timelines, but it is helpful to know. And lastly, Akari's auto attack. So she's gonna do Kiss, and then Shadow Bolt, and her auto attack is coming out now. There it is. Basically, once I see her trident kind of getting like halfway to the boss, that's when the damage comes out, and you can UB with Akari. It's just practice. I advise you to go into the dungeon, pre-charge that TP, and just practice on the boss like I'm doing now. I can go over Summer Kyaru next. Core magic unit. Her first action here is going to be Shred, but it's a little different from Akari because Summer Kyaru does damage and Shred in the same skill. And Kyaru is unique in that her Shred applies a very kind of delayed after the damage applies. Most skills in this game that deal damage and deal Shred, the Shred comes out just 1 frame after the damage. In Kyaru's case, the Shred comes out 9 frames after the damage. And I'll show you what that looks like now. If I UB as Kyaru earlier, for example, the damage landed, you see that I did 2800 from the spiral wave, but there's no boss debuff icon where it should be. And you see that my union burst only did 20k. So I'll try to do a proper cancel this time. And this is a skill that you need to be a bit patient on. So the way I like to do it, once I just see the 4 damage numbers pop up, like that, I saw all 4 numbers of 2800, I UB now, and there's that blue debuff icon showing me that I did indeed get the Shred, I did get the damage, and now my UB is doing the full 40k. It is possible to UB with S Kyaru slightly earlier than that and still get the Shred. But it's a bit difficult because there's no real way to judge when that Shred has applied. If you are, a gamer, you can react to this Shred icon appearing. That is one way you can do it. Just keep in mind that in a real clan battle, hit, it's probably already going to be a debuff icon here from other characters' Shred. So it's not a very reliable tell. One more interesting piece of trivia. You can actually turn on auto during Spiral Wave. You see that it landed the damage, and the Shred applies after the UB animation. It's weird tech, but it's sometimes used in timelines where the boss is already full shredded, so you don't care about landing the Summer Kyaru Shred. Next I'll go over Aqua Bullet. This is her skill 1. It's a projectile. It just does damage, so just like the Shadow Bolt, I'm just gonna watch for it to hit the boss, and the instant it hits the boss, I UB, like that. You see I did the 13k from Aqua Bullet. Okay. I'm not going to cover how to cancel the auto attack from every character, just because auto attacks are not a very common cancel to do, and they're fairly straightforward, even if you do have to do it. Summer Kyaru's auto attack is a projectile. It's a little blue ball, same as every projectile. Once it hits the boss, UB. Okay, next I can cover Halloween Misaki. So Misaki only has one skill that we care about canceling, and that's her skill 2, Halloween Hype. It is a magic attack buff for everyone around her, and it's a strange buff because this will really highlight why we like to do animation cancels. If I don't cancel the animation here, you can take a look. The animation is really long, and the buff actually applies very quickly, very quickly. This is true for all buffs, all skills that buff in the game. A perfect buff animation cancel means that you will see these orange arrows from the buff during the UB animation, not before you UB. So I'll show you what that looks like here. So you see that orange arrows come up during that UB animation, not before I UB. I'm not reacting to orange arrows because that would be too slow. The way we do Halloween Misaki cancels, the slower way is to just watch her lean forward on the broom. So she starts leaning forward, a UB. But there's a faster way, and it's before she leans forward. Just before she leans forward, I'm looking for her hand to come out of her sleeve. So, like that. This is an important one to know. Again, usually you're going to be doing characters like Kyaru or Kyouka UBs after you see the Halloween Misaki buff come out. So you're not necessarily learning it to cancel Halloween Misaki, but as a way to know when to UB your other characters when that buff is applied. Let's talk about Kyouka next. Kyouka is a weird unit. I'm going to be covering her Ice Lance cancel first because even though her first action is the buff, that's a very tricky one to cancel, which I'll explain later. Her Ice Lance is a projectile. It shoots in a downward trajectory, meaning that the projectile is gonna land somewhere near the boss's feet here. And once I see those little icicles land, I'm just going to UB. Pretty straightforward, like that. And you'll see that I landed 9k damage from the Ice Lance. For the Kyouka buff, the tricky thing about her buff is that the buff, as in the 6k damage magic attack boost she gives herself, comes out a single frame after she starts the buff animation. So you have to be either very fast in your reaction speed, or you need another way to tell when she's starting her animation. And what we figured out is that after she does her auto attack, we just watch her left pigtail here, and we're going to watch her left pigtail bounce 1.5 times after her auto attack lands. So her auto attack lands, bounce once, half times. I missed it because I was talking, but that's basically the gist. You watch her auto attack land, Kyouka will start standing still for a little bit, and then her left pigtail is going to bounce one time, and it's going to bounce a half time, and on that half bounce, on that second bounce, once it reaches the halfway point, that's when you want to UB. And her buff always comes out after the auto attack, so it's a very consistent tell. You can see not getting it. So I'm gonna try to shut up and land this cancel. Oh. There it is. And you'll see that the orange arrows come up during the UB animation and not before. I can do that faster, but I don't want to re-record. Kyouka buff is actually a really important cancel to know, especially after we get Kyouka's unique equipment, because it means that if we cancel her buff perfectly every time, we get an extra ice lance at the end of the battle, because we sped her up by canceling those animations. So I advise everyone to practice it. The auto attack I won't cover. It's the same as Summer Kyaru's auto attack or every other projectile in the game. It's a little ball. Once it hits the boss, you UB. Okay, so let's cover ILLYA. This is one of the more punishing cancels, because most of the time in a competitive clan battle setting, failing one of these cancels means you die, which is cool. And this is because both of ILLYA's skills do damage to the boss, but also does some damage to herself. And both of these skills have this gimmick. The key thing is that the damage comes out, as in the damage to the boss comes out, there's a few frames before the damage to herself is applied. So tryhard clan battle players have taken advantage of this by doing ILLYA UB, after that damage is applied to the boss, but before she damages herself. So this can improve her survivability because she doesn't harm herself. So I'll start with doing the Bloodthirsty Blast cancel. There is 6 frames for you to hit this cancel, as in once the damage lands on the boss, there is 6 frames before she deals damage to herself. So I'll show what the cancel looks like before I describe how I do it. So you'll see that there's 8k damage from the blast, and then a UB. So one way to tell when to do the Bloodthirsty Blast cancel, there's a lot of ways, but I'll tell you mine. I like to look for a little red flash near ILLYA in this direction, and once I see that flash, that's when I like to UB. You can be too early if you're looking for the flash, so kind of like memorize the shape of that particular red flash that you're looking for. But I like it. Another way you can do it is by looking for, I'm gonna have to shout out my clan leader Ding Dong for this one. He looks for a pillar of light on the boss, and that's when the Bloodthirsty Blast damage lands. So that pillar of white and red light, that's when the damage lands. This one's more of a reactionary tell because you don't exactly know the timing of when that red light appears, but whatever works for you, right? So I'll cover ILLYA's skill 2 next. This is Bloodthirsty Spear. A lot of people think that this is one of the harder cancels in the game, and that's because you have 2 to 3 frames after the damage lands on the boss to UB. After 2 frames, ILLYA is going to damage herself. So I'll show what that cancel looks like. Again, all of these cancels are just practice. Just practice every day. You'll be able to hit these. Clearly, I don't practice every day because I didn't hit it. What I'm looking for is ILLYA to kind of bow down, and she places both hands on her head. like that. Another way that I know some people like to do it, you'll see that you saw the 6k from the Bloodthirsty Spear damage. Another way that people can do it is by reacting to that damage number appearing on the boss, the very first digit of that damage number. So you'll see that when I UB'd ILLYA, there was just the number 6 on the boss, and that's when I UB'd. That doesn't mean you only did 6 damage, that's just the first digit of your damage. All the damage has already applied. I missed it again there, and I critted myself, I think. Yeah, so you see why it's important to know how to do ILLYA cancels, because she crits herself, and doing an ILLYA cancel can kind of save you from that crit, while at the same time greeting for that damage from her skills. I think that's all I have for this video. Leave a comment if you have any feedback, anything I can improve on, or any other cancels you want me to cover. I think the next video I'd like to cover the other mage options right here, New Year Yui as well. That's about it. See ya.